Hello, I've just received something super exciting. Literally the first ever DivKid module. I think it's quite sad giving myself my own fanfare. The first ever DivKid module. And that stamp turned out quite tasty. Looking good there, Mr. DivKid, if I do say so myself. Knurlies inside. These Bafako knurlies. I did work with Bafako on this. They helped design and bring this to life after I've had this idea for a couple of years. The module itself, which we'll come to shortly, and all this other good stuff. Glowworm cables. You get a couple of these free in the assembled ones. It might be one cable free because I ran out in the DIY ones. Huge thanks to Brad from Glowworm Cables for supporting this idea when I shared it with him years back. Nice Glowworm cable sticker. Nice DivKid sticker exclusive to this. And the actual module. New shiny DivKid module. We can say that this video is sponsored by me because I want you to go and buy them because I'd like this to be successful. The reason this is exciting is that it's very performable and that we've got momentary switches. The input's all normal down, allowing us to take one input to multiple destinations, mute them out, dub style effects, pinging bits of audio into delay. There's Vactrals across these switches, making sure it's totally click free, and a nice little gooey Vactral fade when you mute something. That's really nice for modulation, which was a surprise because I was thinking it'd be great for audio, but big bonus for modulation too. Let's just get into some patches in this video, add some mutes to audio, gates, triggers, sequences, the works. And go grab a mute and let me know what you do with it if you do. Let's get stuck into it. Here's one of my favourite mixers, the CP3 mixer from Manhattan Analog. It's great, but there's no way of muting anything. It's a tiny little 4HP mixer. So what I've done here is use the DivKid mutes to add mutes to everything on there. There's a bass line and some effects in the background. I've got a kick, snare, hi-hat routed into the top 3 channels, and then the output of the mixer into channel 4. So with these two in 8HP, I've got a nice mutable, great sounding little kind of sub-mix for my drums. So turning on the actual output of the mixer and just a kick, I can bring the sound in as I want. Push it to the left for a little momentary slap of clap into that delay. Cue up another little submix and just bring it back in again. So here's a quick patch using this as a 1 input, 4 output, mutable, performable effects send, if you like. My input signal comes into channel 1 and this is buffered and normals its way through the next 3 channels unless we plug a cable in which case it cuts that internal normalizing. So I can flick in and out the dry sound, click free, that's the beauty of those Vactrals in that circuit. The second output goes to U-burst and a delay for some nice pitch shifted flurries of sound. And again, that momentary is super useful just for performing in these little flurries of sound, sending input 1 out of 2 into another effect. 3 feeds this black hole DSP, so output 3 into the DSP and then out to record. So again, just super useful for getting these little flurries and performable bursts of reverb in this case. Could of course leave it on. And output 4 goes down to, you can just see at the bottom of the screen where I'm wiggling my fingers, this 1-bit multi-tap delay. Again, the momentaries really shine here when you're just wanting to perform in, kind of dub mixing into these effects. It's super useful. So here we're using the mutes for CV. I have an LFO on the top channel going to the FM of Tides. Another LFO to shape on channel 2. Some sample and hold on channel 3. And some more sample and hold, moving at a slower rate on channel 4. Now these little fades that the Vactrals give to ensure it's click-free for audio work great for CV2 because I can momentarily kind of ping in some modulation and get some interesting responses. You can just hear that slight fade giving you kind of confidence to be able to perform with it and know you're not going to get any nasty sudden changes or clicks if it's audio. So I'll just quickly perform, switching some of this in and out, doing some of that momentary, and then we'll move on to the final patch. So with these few examples for audio or gates or triggers or as an effect send that's playable and performable or for modulation, of course it gets more interesting and uber useful, if I do say so myself, when you use all of these different things at once. So the top channel is muting the audio out of the Black Noir drum machine, voice. So that's audio in and out. I'm letting this normal down to input 2 for an effect send. Channel 3 has an LFO in it to modulate both the drums and this droning voice. And 4 has a trigger rhythm coming in that's going to trigger the clap module. So audio, a split down effect send by taking this second output into some effects, some CV, some triggers, really nice for fills if you get quite a busy rhythm on these claps. Just flicking this in and out, and even just playing that LFO into that wavetable position. So by the time you see this, the DivKid mutes should be in some stores near you, either assembled as a partial DIY kit or a PCB panel combo. Of course, I'm going to say this is good. I'm sure someone's going to comment, you're making a video because it's your own module. Yeah, of course I am. But like any other videos and working with manufacturers like I do, I just wanted to show this off, give you some ideas, and really show it for what it is and why I wanted this thing to be made. I think there's a lot of advantages to having this in the system and dotting them around, multiple modules. You should all go buy lots of them, of course. Joking aside, silliness aside, I'm absolutely chuffed to bits that this is out there. Cheers for watching this, and let me know if you grab a mute. I'd love to see what you do with it.